Hi everyone, welcome to WW Designs. My name is Nikki, and today I thought I would just give you a few ideas on how you can fill a journal page. For example, what you can see in front of me is the start of my April memory keeping spread, and up on top of that is a few bits and pieces that I've collected. Now, I will preface this by saying I have done a separate spread that was just for Easter stuff. I've also done a separate spread on the most amazing lunch that I did go out to. So what was sort of left for April was a bit boring. Like, I really didn't have a lot of things to include on my memory spread. But I've started this habit and I want to keep it going throughout the year. So I decided, okay, how else can I fill the page? So the first thing I did, I collected a couple of bits of ephemera. For example, the first little bit that I just put down there, that was a sacred ground coffee that I tried, and I just cut that out of the packaging. Not bad coffee, not my absolute favourite, but I kept that little bit of packaging, and then later on you'll see a little bit more packaging that I kept. But then what I've done here, in Australia, our two main supermarkets, Woolworths and Coles, bring out a magazine each month, and it's full of recipes and, of course, advertising. That's fine. So I had my Easter copy of this magazine from Woolies, and I just flipped through it and found a few things related to Easter, cut them out, and of course you'll see them go down in my spread here. Now, this little piece that I'm about to glue down, I kept from a burger I had down at the Coolum Surf Lifesaving Club. They have this on a stick, and it's on top of your burger. So I kept that, and I thought, I don't know what I'll use it for, but I kept it anyway, and thank God I did. Where I've glued it down, next to it is a picture of the beach. That's the beach closest to me. It's actually Peregian Beach. Following Alfred, obviously a lot of our beaches in southeast Queensland were very adversely affected. So on that day, which was actually Good Friday, my daughter had come up from Brisbane, and we were going to go down to the beach and have a swim and have a walk along the beach. But the beach was completely closed at that time we got there. It was high tide, so we couldn't swim. So I'm glad I kept the flag, because that's representing the fact we couldn't swim that day. Now, back over on the other side, I've just glued down a picture of, they brought out an Easter hot cross bun mud cake, which was disgusting because it's too full of cinnamon, and cinnamon and I are not friends. But I popped a picture of that down there. The little purple thing next to it are these new, well, no, they're not new. They've probably been out for a while, but I had never tried them, these mango and cream muesli bars. They're delightful. The other thing I've just glued down there is part of a Snickers wrapper. They brought out a special edition that's coffee flavoured. So, of course, I try anything that's coffee flavoured, and it's not good, it's not bad, you know, it's all right. The other thing you can do, if you're like me and you have a lot of ephemera, a lot of mine are back from my planner days, but of course now I still keep using them regularly. That day we were up at my brother's apartment, overlooks the water. I had a big walk on the beach, and we were sitting up there watching the sailing boats go by. So I found a little sailing boat. The little bunny that's down the bottom on the left-hand side, he was just a cute little thing from the Woolies mag, and seeing it was Easter, I thought, oh, why not pop him in there? I thought he was quite clever the way they made him. We cut out some Easter eggs. My favourite Easter eggs are the little candy-covered ones. Cadbury make them, and so did Daryl Lee. So I found a picture of pretty eggs in this Woolies mag. So I, of course, cut some of those out. And here's my favourite, the little pack of Cadbury candy eggs. So there was a picture in the mag. I thought, look, I'll cut that out. I love them. Then the next thing here, this is just a little pink ticket piece of ephemera I found in my stash, all about perfect day or something like that. And I thought that's a worthy piece to add in, because that day the weather was just immaculately beautiful. As you can see, it was stunning. Then the next one is it's a little image of a lady with a hat. And I decided to pop that down somewhere on this spread just to represent the fact that for April, the weather stayed incredibly warm. Usually by April, you can start to feel that little bit of autumn chill creep in. Honestly, it's now May and we're just barely starting to feel it. So I decided to add that in. That's just a little representation of the fact that the weather was, pretty warm. And I like a bit of white space, so I haven't filled everything in, because what I need to do now, of course, is add a few notes, even though pictorially I know exactly what all these things say, but I do like to add a few notes and just sort of explain briefly. So the very first thing that you see stuck up there was some of the most amazing April Fool's jokes and things out there. Now, I'm an AV geek, and on Flight Radar, someone had managed to create a Concorde that you could follow, even though, of course, the Concorde doesn't fly anymore. And it was coming up on Flight Radar, flying between New York and Paris. So, of course, that was my favourite April Fool's joke. But the best one that I saw was a high school I think it was in Melbourne. In Australia, we finish school in year 12 if you go all the way through. And the headmistress managed to get all the year 12s together and stood up in front of them at assembly and said that the state government had decided to change schooling and they were going to add an extra year, and so they would not be graduating until the following year. She did it with such a straight face. Honestly, it was amazing. So I just thought I just needed a little representation there of something fun that happened in April. Then I, of course, when we couldn't go swimming, thankfully, because we live in a holiday zone, a lot of things are closed on Good Friday. But when you live near the beach in what they call resort towns, shops trade, because there's plenty of people here on holidays. So even though we couldn't go for a swim and we couldn't go for a walk along the beach, we were pleasantly surprised to find all the cafes and things open. So we ducked into one of our favourites, and I shared this, the most amazing caramel macadamia slice. It was delightful. So you'll see the little red heart that I stuck on just below that. They were also just in the Woolies mag. I thought that was perfect. So I popped a little heart, and the coffee was okay too. And then just a little notation about, what am I writing here? Oh, beach bliss, yes, because my happy place, and I got to spend time at the beach. So just a quick note there. Then my fave down there for the little Easter eggs. And then I'm just making a note about that hot cross bun mud cake, which I had one tiny mouthful and went, no, this is not for me. Cinnamon and we just don't get along at all. So anything that tastes very cinnamony, I'm in trouble. So I did not like that. Loved my these are relatively healthy bars, so I now keep a box in my locker at work. They're really good. And then I have rated my Snickers coffee flavoured about a 5 out of 10. It's not yuck, it's not great. So that's it. And then I wanted to write something there about Anzac Day, but I really didn't know what to write. So I went, you know what? Pretty much think we're done. So save some ephemera when you go out and about during your month, or grab some current magazines and just images that you like, something that appeals to you, maybe something you even want to try. Worth sticking down for the month. Hope you enjoyed this. Talk to you soon.